okay, it's lyrics like this that really piss me off, because I gotta say, 99% of the song is actually really good. It has some nice music in it that halfway through transitions into an even breezier backbeat. The rhymes are creative and vivid and help illustrate the story of his success as an artist.
First got to America, niggas wouldn't check for me. No chance the kid'll make it here like vasectomy. They underestimated my trajectory.
Like, wow, multi-syllabic flow, clever wordplay, you can't front on that.
I'm like a cup holder, the way that these dimes stick to me.
Oh, that's right. He's a heartthrob who can get any girl he wants. And then this line comes out of butt nowhere.
Sidebar, Serena, your husband a groupie. He claim we don't got a problem, but no boo it is, like you coming for sushi.
Like, what the was that? I mean, okay, first off, the person he's talking about is Serena Williams' current husband, and he's trying to play him off like he's some insignificant hanger-on who just got lucky to snag a famous celebrity, but the guy she's married to is one of the co-founders of Reddit who's worth over $70 million, so this ain't exactly a Britney Spears dating her backup singer situation. And secondly, he claimed we don't got a problem, but no boo, it is like you coming for sushi. Like, wow, you want to try a little harder at awkwardly jamming that wordplay in there? Because you get it, Nobu is a sushi restaurant, and it sounds like the words no boo, but it's just so weirdly phrased. I mean, if he would have said it like, he claimed we don't got a problem, but I said no boo like I'm trying to get sushi, I mean, that still would have been corny, but at least it would have made more coherent sense as a sentence. But with how it's currently structured, it seems like the wordplay should be about contradicting the thing that the other guy is saying. So the phrase should be structured like, he says there's no problem, but I say, and then what should follow is something contradicting the thing that the guy said. Like if Drake said, he says there's no beef, but nah, bitch, I want that quarter pounder. You'd feel how that setup and payoff makes sense, where you get that the play on words is hinging on the contrasting intentions between him and the guy he doesn't like. But as it is, it feels odd. Like he just thought it was so clever that he discovered that no boo sounds like no boo. He didn't feel the need to, to make it fit into the flow and meaning of what he's actually saying. And really think about what he's trying to say here.
He claimed we don't got a problem, but no boo it is, like you coming for sushi.
Like, no, I will start beef with a man I don't know because my ex would rather have sex with him than me. Like, oh yeah, that's definitely what cool guys do, right? And it undercuts all the dope swaggering lines he was just spitting. Because, hey, whatever happened to reveling in all the hot chicks who were just all over you? Kinda seems like all that status bragging doesn't really mean that much to you if you're gonna interrupt the song to piss and moan about a woman you dated, 2, 3 years ago? No, over 7 years ago! Jesus, dude, let it go! So this song is about how Uzi knows this girl so well, he can predict exactly what she's gonna do and act accordingly. That's right, all he's gotta do is play the waiting game and she'll be right back in his arms.
I am not one to wait, so you gotta say when you're ready.
Wait, you just said 3 lines ago that you can wait because you can tell what she's gonna do, but now you need her confirmation? What happened?
I know what you really like, I know that you're not a dyke.
Oh, wow, man. He started the song acting like he can read this girl so well, all he has to do is sit back and wait for her to come to him, but now it just sounds like dude really doesn't know how to take a hint.
I know that you're not a dyke.
Yeah, she's not actually gay. She totally digs guys. She's gonna stop making out with that chick and come back to me any minute now. Man, is the rest of this list just gonna be dudes mauling about women they can't have sex with anymore? Well, I guess let's find out.
I was there rolling out, shutting down the whole damn show, tried to make me have a problem with gays. Mixed up my words, made a nigga lose a whole 30 million, now I'm back and I'ma say what I say.
Oh man, we really gotta go through all this again. Okay, so this is in reference to the controversy the year before where the queer community took issue with him making an immature gay joke.
You didn't show up today with HIV, AIDS, any of them deadly sexually transmitted diseases that'll make you die in 2-3 weeks. Put a cell phone like that. Fellas, if you ain't sucking nigga dick in the parking lot, put your cell phone like that.
For context, he was trying to hype up the crowd by saying goofy edgelord shit to make the people react. Like the previous line was about him saying, hey, throw your hands up, ladies, if your pussy don't stink, stuff like that. The problem being, gay people have had to deal with stereotypes of being promiscuous and being blamed as solely responsible for the AIDS crisis, so the line hit a little harsher than I think he was intending. And for the record, I don't think the dude is some card-carrying homophobe or anything, because, he hasn't really said anything outside of that bad joke to prove as such. I just think that because he's not part of that group, he just didn't consider how a line like that would hit. In fact, I also think it's because he doesn't actually have anything against gay people, but got treated as if he was homophobic based off of the joke. It prompted him to get defensive in that way that we all can kind of do when we get called out for something that we weren't expecting to offend people. Because when we get stuck in our own heads, we're quicker to jump to thinking, oh, it's just an internet mob of haters trying to take me down, before you consider, oh, wait, let me see what the argument they're making is. Oh, you know what? Okay, I can see how somebody took it that way. Because let's be real here. If Post Malone had a similar line where he said, yo, all my black fans, throw your hands up in the air if you ain't on welfare. Like, even if I knew Post Malone personally and knew he was saying it it just to joke with a crowd of black fans he was cool with, that'd still be a pretty joke, and I'd completely understand why someone would take issue with it. But here's the thing, he actually makes an apology for it in this video.
Hey, my bad about that Rolling Loud shit too. I ain't mean that.
Big misunderstanding.
And, it seems like it's being done in good faith, right? Like, he made a public apology, he put it directly in his video, and he made it to a queer person, but did it in a kind of casual way so it wouldn't come off as fake or disingenuous. So while I do still think the line about losing 30 mil off of the controversy still comes across as bitter and pissy, and no, I don't think you're under any obligation to forgive him, I can at least acknowledge that he's actively wanting to make amends here, and trying to go about it in a genuine way. Then you remember how he started the song.
The day before she say the Tory Lane shot, I was fucking on Megan Thee Stallion. Waited to say the shit on my next album. Hit it the day before too, but I kept it play, ain't say nothing about it.
And what? How you gonna pat yourself on the back for not spilling the beans on the woman's sex life while you're spilling the beans on the woman's sex life? And it's even weirder that he treats it like it's some noble act that he waited until his next album to say it.
And waited to say the shit on my next album.
But you weren't supposed to say it at all.
You gotta keep it in your heart as a great sacrifice. That's the cool move.
Come on, man. A gentleman doesn't kiss and tell. Only cornballs who are desperate for relevance do that. Guys, can we get a petition to get mainstream rappers to just stop talking about Megan Thee Stallion?
Way I'm dressed until I've been to $1,000. This bitch lie by getting shots, but she's still a stallion.
Okay, Drake. Since you want to make snippy comments throwing doubt on whether Megan lied about getting shot by her ex, I gotta ask, are you a willfully ignorant ass or just a clueless dumbass? Cause see, a dumbass is too stupid to know that there's a free search engine anyone can use to see the numerous articles where a witness could vividly describe the scene of Tory Lanez shooting at Megan. But you see, a willfully ignorant asshole is so sure of his own assumption that women be eating hot chip and lying that he doesn't need to search for this easily accessible information. And it begs the question, if you're so sure it's a lie, well, what did happen, Drake? Oh, I know. Maybe the guy who really killed OJ's ex-wife jumped out of the bushes, stole Tory Lanez's gun, and said, once again, my plan to attack women who are in heated arguments with their exes and then blame it on the men who surely just wanted to calmly talk out their issues will be complete. Oh, yeah, and give me your phone, Tory, so I can drunkenly apologize for it later on. Oh, and I've seen people try to make excuses for it, like Lil Yachty of all people saying, oh, no, see, he meant it like the girl was getting fake ass shots. See, that's what he meant. And it's like, yeah, that's how double entendres work, dumbass. You find words that can be interpreted in two ways, like how saying someone is lying about shots can be heard as getting shot with bullets or getting shot as in medical injections, and you say it in a certain context to make it sound like you could mean both. But in that case, it raises another question. Was he too stupid to know that a line like this was clearly going to be taken as a reference to her getting shot? Because as a fellow rapper in the same field, he literally has to know that she had been shot by someone and that a line like this would remind people of that? Or is he just being an asshole using cheeky word choices as a flimsy argument for plausible deniability? Again, what's he being here? Dumbass or asshole? Well, he seems to know how to use the internet well enough to send drunk, bitter DMs to YouTube reviewers who would in no way impact his record sales, so I'm gonna fuse the two and give dumb ass as my guess.
My life was never easy.
So...
There's a lot of things that I love about Hitler.
Kanye West is a idiot who is also very mentally unstable. And I feel like some folks have had a hard time threading that needle, what with not wanting to make fun of someone dealing with mental health in this day and age. But we can walk and chew gum at the same time here, right? Like, he's not a baby. He's a rich dude who, because of that access to power and resources, should be held even more accountable for his mental health, as well as the internal thought processes he has that, to him, end up justifying his awful decisions. Like, I could have sympathy for the guy if he got caught in an interview having a manic episode and didn't have his medication and ends up making impulsive word choices that make him look bad. But to actively decide to specifically go on multiple right-wing platforms to complain that certain people are trying to silence you while you're somehow able to ramble on and on about them.
That sounds like a choice.
Now, his mania may magnify the intensity of his behavior, but these aren't completely uncontrollable impulses that he's just an unthinking slave to. This is a pattern of behavior based off of his own up internal logic. But dumber than that. Dumber than being a useful idiot by going on Fox to spout right-wing talking points for conservatives that just want to hear them parroted by a minority person so they feel justified in their paranoia. Dumber than throwing a tantrum and running away from an interview because the host of an alt-right adjacent podcast gave them the smallest pushback on your anti-Semitic bullshit. Dumber than going on the show of a conspiracy nutjob who got successfully sued by the victims of the Parkland shooting for spreading lies that the kids were actors. dumber than the fact that Kanye still ended up looking more unhinged than that guy by effectively choosing to kill his career on the Hitler wasn't so bad hill. You know, I can't even be internet hyperbolic about that last one. That really is like rock bottom. Like, damn, it really doesn't get any dumber than a mentally unwell black man praising the Nazis who specifically murdered minorities and the mentally unwell. But still, just on a personal level, this was the straw that broke the camel's back for me before any of this happened.
God sent me from the crash, just so I could beat Pete Davidson's ass.
You made me side with Pete Davidson on something. How dare you? Pete Davidson, the bane of 21st century comedy. Pete Davidson, a guy who you could probably name more of his celebrity exes before you could name any bits he did that were like actually funny. And I think this verse is emblematic of the major divorced dad energy he's been displaying this year.
Just so I could beat Pete Davidson's ass.
Thinking he's so tough for sending shots at a non-threatening milquetoast comedian.
God sent me from that crash.
And just the fact that he frames it like this, completely undermining the lore of his underdog legacy at the beginning of his career, essentially cheapening the initial reason people were rooting for him, just to reframe it like, oh, it was actually God's mission for him to survive, just so Kanye can carry out petty beefs over his fragile ego.
Just so I could beat Pete Davidson's ass.
Yeah, who? I don't even know who this guy is at all. In fact, he's such a worm beneath my notice that I literally had to interrupt my guest verse on a song that has nothing to do with him to specifically put his name in the song. But let me try just a little harder to demonstrate just how much I definitely don't care about this dude, because I totally don't, you guys. And like, that sampled vocal afterwards is what really drives home the spitefulness in his spirit, because think about it, how many people actually did know Pete Davidson was dating Kim Kardashian at the time? But when they come across this song and inevitably think, wait, why does Kanye want to beat up Pete Davidson? And then they see, oh, it's because you're super jealous he's having sex with your ex-wife? Wow, that's really pathetic. Like, that's the only reaction anyone would have to that line. You're not getting props for talking tough on a guy who looks like Casper the Unfunny Ghost.
Mr. Narcissist, tell me about my arrogance. No more counseling, I don't negotiate with therapists.
Well, that certainly explains a lot.
Nigga, we having the best divorce ever.
Sure you are.
If we go to court, we'll go to court together. Matter of fact, pick up your sis, we'll go to court together.
Yeah, we're doing just so well. It's not even an issue. Look, we just had some irreconcilable differences on our life paths and just amicably decided to split ways. No big deal.
I watch 4 kids for like 5 hours a day.
Also, I've only been allowed to see my kids for 5 hours.
I wear these Yeezy boots everywhere, even in the shower today.
Also, I wear my shoes when I take showers, which means I would have had to specifically take my pants off in order to put my shoes back on to then get into the shower.
Not custodial dad, I bought the house next door.
Also, I bought a house next door to where my kids are so I can play a petty legal game of I'm not touching you with my ex. You see what I mean here by divorced dad energy?
Just so I could beat Pete Davidson's ass.
Just so he can beat up a guy who's done literally nothing other than date the person he's no longer dating. Like, wow, if he wasn't getting as much custody over his kids before, I can't imagine threatening his ex's new boyfriend and frothing out the mouth about Jews trying to silence him is doing much to endear his character to the family court system. Well, that's the midlife crisis he's sadly spiraling down. And hey, by the time you see this episode live, the next episode will already be available for patrons, so if you want to see it early, head on over to patreon.com/rapcritic and get access to that, plus exclusive episodes of my movie podcast and the Patreon RC Discord to chat with me and fellow fans. Can't do that? That's cool. If you enjoy my stuff and you want to support, leave a like if you like because it helps, comment if you have something to say because it helps even more, and hit the subscribe and the bell because that's what helps the most. So until next time, I'm the Rap Critic. You don't have to like my opinion, but virtually all of these lyrics were about guys not being able to get over women. Damn, y'all niggas need therapy.